You know how some quadratic equations are super easy, and then others, they just leave you completely stuck? Well, what if I told you there's one single tool that can solve every single quadratic equation, no matter how messy it gets? That's what we're diving into today. We are going to totally demystify that exact tool, the quadratic formula.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with why we even need this thing in the first place, and then we'll reveal the universal solution itself. After that, we're going to put it into action step by step. We'll even uncover a cool little secret hidden inside it. And finally, we'll talk about what makes it a true math superpower.
So, you've probably spent some time trying to solve quadratic equations by factoring. And it's awesome when it actually works, right? It's fast, it's clean, it's satisfying. But what happens when the numbers get messy and aren't nice, tidy integers? Well, that's where factoring kind of hits a wall.
So that brings up a really important question. Is there a universal method out there, a tool that just doesn't care how complicated or messy an equation looks and can just solve it every single time?
The answer is a huge yes, and it's called the quadratic formula. Think of it as the master key for algebra. It's the one method that is absolutely guaranteed to unlock the answer to any quadratic equation you can throw at it.
Okay, but before we can use this amazing key, there's one super important rule. Your equation has to be, and I mean has to be, in what's called standard form. ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Getting it into this format is how we figure out the pieces we need, those coefficients a, b, and c.
And here it is. I know, it looks a little intimidating at first glance, but trust me, this elegant formula is the universal solution we've been looking for. All you have to do is plug in those a, b, and c values, and this thing will spit out the right answer for x every single time.
Okay, so theory is great and all, but let's actually put this thing to work. We're going to walk through the exact steps right now to see how this powerful tool operates in the real world.
So here's our step-by-step process. It's just 5 simple things to remember. First, get your equation into that standard form. Second, figure out what your a, b, and c are. Third, you're going to carefully plug those numbers into the formula. Fourth, you simplify everything. And finally, fifth, you calculate your 2 solutions. Ready? Let's give it a shot.
All right, let's kick things off with a nice, friendly example. X squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. It's already in standard form, so hey, step 1 is already done for us.
Okay, step 2. Let's find our a, b, and c. So looking at our equation, a is the number in front of the x squared. In this case, there's nothing there, so it's an invisible 1. b is the number in front of the x, which is 5, and c is just that constant hanging out at the end, which is 6. Easy peasy.
All right, now for the fun part. We just take these numbers and plug them right into our formula. So where the formula says negative b, we put in negative 5. Where it says b squared, we've got 5 squared. See? We're just swapping letters for numbers. From here on out, it's just a matter of cleaning it up.
Let's start simplifying. Inside that square root, we've got 5 squared, which is 25, minus 4 times 1 times 6, which is 24. So 25 minus 24 is just 1. And the square root of 1 is, well, it's just 1. We are so close now!
And now for the grand finale, finding our 2 solutions. That little plus-minus symbol just means we have to do this twice, once with a plus and once with a minus. So, negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4, divided by 2 gives us negative 2. Then, negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6, divided by 2 gives us negative 3. And there they are, our 2 answers.
Okay, that was pretty smooth, right? Let's try another one. This time, we're going to throw in some negative numbers, just to show how this formula doesn't even break a sweat. Let's solve 2x squared minus 3x minus 2 equals 0. Same first step. We identify our a, b, and c. But you've got to be really careful here. a is 2. b isn't 3. It's negative 3. And c is negative 2. Forgetting those negative signs is like the #1 mistake people make, so don't let it be you. Okay, time to plug them in. And again, we got to watch those negatives like a hawk. Check this out. The formula starts with negative b. But our b is already negative 3, so we get a negative 3, which, is going to turn into a positive. So satisfying. All right, let's clean this up. That negative 3 becomes a positive 3. Inside the square root, negative 3 squared is a positive 9. Then we have negative 4 times 2 times negative 2. And negative times a negative is a positive, so that becomes plus 16. So we end up with the square root of 25, which, hey, we know that one. It's 5. See how all those negatives just sorted themselves out? So cool.
And for our two answers, first we do 3 plus 5, which is 8, divided by 4. That's 2. Then we do 3 minus 5, which is negative 2, divided by 4. And that simplifies down to negative 1/2. And there you go. See, the answers can even be fractions, no problem at all.
But wait, there's more, and this is one of my favorite parts. There's actually a secret little clue hidden right inside the formula. It's like a crystal ball that gives you a sneak peek of what your answers are going to look like before you even do all the work. It's called the discriminant.
So this little secret is called the discriminant, and it's just that little chunk of the formula that's living under the square root sign, b squared minus 4ac. The value of just this one little piece tells you a ton.
And here's how it works. It's so simple. You're going to love it. If you calculate that part and get a positive number, boom, you know you're going to end up with 2 different real solutions. If it comes out to exactly 0, you'll get just one repeated solution. And if it's negative, well, you can just stop right there because you know there are no real solutions to be found. It's like a powerful shortcut, a little predictor built right in.
Okay, so we've taken this formula apart. We've seen how it works. We've put it back together. But what's the big deal? Let's zoom out for a second and talk about why this isn't just some random formula for a math test. This thing is a real mathematical superpower.
So if there's one thing you walk away with today, it's this. The quadratic formula is your ultimate safety net. Factoring might fail you. Other methods might get stuck. But this tool, it will always work. It literally never fails. And as you go further in math, into physics, engineering, you're going to see this thing pop up everywhere. It's not just a trick. It is a fundamental pillar of mathematics.
So we've seen how this one beautiful formula acts like a master key, unlocking problems that seemed impossible before. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Now that you have this key in your toolbox, what other mathematical doors are you going to unlock?